Okay, so I just watched another Shudder film. I watched Sleepaway Camp this time, and this is similar to The Burning, a really notorious slasher film, horror film in general, really. But unlike The Burning, it's not necessarily known as being like really good. It's just widely known because of like the ending where the killer, who is appears to be a girl, ends up being a guy. And let me just say this, right? Sleepaway Camp came out in '83, kind of like at the height of the slasher craze. And in my opinion, at face value, it is about as average of an '80s slasher as it gets. There are a few things that set it apart. I think the biggest thing really is that it's a child who's doing all this. Therefore, all the kids who get like murdered, it's like less crazy, right? Because like in a slasher film, whenever somebody kills a kid, like a killer, like Jason, Michael, whatever, it's always kind of fucked up. But I mean, Angela's like a 14-year-old or something. And I mean, okay, let me say this: the kills, I wish they were impressive, but like I don't know, it just bothers me because there's a lot of stuff in this movie that just doesn't really make much sense. Um, Most of the kills, I just don't understand how they work. Because like there are two that I have big problems with because they're just like, how does that happen, right? Angela or is a guy, I guess, right, who's like 13 or 14, somehow manages to overpower and drown like a guy who was probably like 17 or 18, like one of like the counselor, like the head campers that like oversees like the younger kids. He was like built too, like he was like an adult. How the hell is he overpowered by like a 14-year-old boy drowning? Don't know. And then the B one in the bathroom stall, how the fuck, like we just crawl underneath? Like what? I don't get it. And also, how can he not bust his way out of there? Like he's a big ass dude. Like the guy looked strong. um it's dumb, but there were some pretty cool kills. I mean, my favorite one was probably the shower. Honestly, that's probably the only really good one, I guess. The arrow to the neck, it's okay. It could have been better. I don't know. The kills in this movie really aren't that special. They're really not that great. I will say the one thing that I that kept me watching, I guess, other than the fact that it's a notorious film that pretty much every horror fan knows of and has seen, I did like the nature in which the camp was run, and that, you know, it was kind of fun watching them socialize and do all this shit, you know, playing baseball, having their little camp trips, doing their little socials. I don't know, it was oddly entertaining. It was kind of reminded me of The Burning, and that it felt like I was watching a summer camp movie from the '80s with actual kids, which is one thing I will give this movie, is there's actual kids in it, which is cool. Um, and like the characters, I do like Ricky. I think he's a good dude. Paul, I don't know, kind of a by the standards, dumb 14, 15-year-old kid. Judy, on the other hand, what was she, like 25 or 30, something? Like, she was old as hell playing a 6 or 17-year-old. I don't know, or 15-year-old even. I don't know. Apparently she's Ricky age, which is weird. She was a bitch, right? Big time bitch. And a lot of like the older counselors, especially like the girl who gets killed, I think her name's Meg, in the shower. One, why is she trying to get with the old guy? Weird. Dude's like 60, and he's a piece of shit too. A lot of the older characters in the movie are pieces of shit. There's only one guy that I think is a good dude, and I think his name was Kenny. The dude, the fucking jacked dude who makes the guy from The Burning, Glazer, he makes him look like a fucking shrimp who can only bench 65 pounds. That dude, fucking yoked. Seriously, shout out to him. He was a good character. All the other those though, the adults, him and also the cook Ben, he was a good dude. Everybody else, pieces of shit. Seriously, all of them. The camp owner, terrible human being who only cared about money, did not give a shit about dead children. All he cared about was money and having sex with like a 17-year-old counselor. Piece of shit. That 17-year-old counselor, piece of shit. Right? The very beginning, the two people on the fucking boat, pieces of shit. Like this movie has so many like small problems and just so many like little things that just piss me off. But I still did watch it. And so yeah, the ending and the whole shtick with this movie that really makes it stand out is the fact that you see the child flaccid penis at the end, which is fucking weird. I remember watching, I've seen so many videos about this movie, but I'd never seen it. And I think it was Dr. Wolfield maybe, who was like, it's an average to below average slasher film that didn't really stand out, and so they added the twist and added a dick at the end. If that isn't facts, I don't know what is. All right, because the killer, you never actually see them in action. A lot of the time, I don't understand how it works, even at the beginning with the pot of steaming water, how he was not able to just move out of the way. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I don't know. But those other two kills, that just doesn't make any sense. But I don't know, Angela is just an average fucking girl. I don't know. She isn't really nothing special, right? This movie is not that good. It's not very good, right? It's an average slasher with a dick at the end. And I mean, that little Easter egg, I guess, or it was that little part during the middle and then back at the end where I think it's supposed to kind of give a hint towards it, right? Because it's got like gay parents. I think in the symbolism there is that they're watching their two dads or whatever the fuck have sex, and then he like points at him. Is that supposed to symbolize that he's a guy as well? I don't know, but the mother character is a fucking psychopath. Let me just say that, by the way. She probably has the most cringe-worthy character delivery mantra that I've ever seen in any movie. So that's cool. How's that going for her, if you would consider that something that's a good thing? But yeah, I mean, would I watch Sleepaway Camp again? Yeah, I would. I mean, it's got that slasher charm to it. Is it a good movie? Would I recommend it to anybody else? Probably not, because I mean, it's just slasher fest. It's average. The things that set it apart, like I said, is it's kids. There's a kid killer and there's kids that die. And then there's a little dick at the end. But it's an average slasher. They're like, all right, let's throw a dick at the end to set this movie apart. And it worked. I mean, it's a notorious film that's been, thrown around pop culture for having a dick, a child dick at the end. Which there's also a lot of ass too. Weird, but like I said, I thought the camp aspects of the movie were pretty fun. But I think I liked it more than Tourist Trap, but it's not very good. I give it like two out of 5 stars. Two out of 5 stars.